Hello and welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I Jeff read the book Infinite Jest to you one page at a time, one day at a time, put it up on YouTube for some amount of people to hear. But, yeah, just knocking this out. I gotta go to work, so that's always fun. But let's just get right to it. Page 164. Feeling up to snuff again, and we're rain checking your first introduction to the game till this weekend, and we'll head over this weekend and do 2 straight days, both days, and give you a really extensive, intensive intro to, by all appearances, a limitless future. Intensive gentleness and bodily care equals great tennis, Jim. We'll go both days and let you plunge right in and get wet all over. It's only $5, the court fee, for 1 lousy hour each day. $5 each day. Don't give it a thought. $10 total for an intensive weekend when we live in a glorified trailer and have to share a garage with 2 DeSotos and what looks like a Model A on blocks, and my Montclair can't afford the kind of oil she deserves. Don't look like that. What's money or my rehearsals for the celluloid auditions we're moving 700 miles for? Auditions that may well compromise your old man's last shot at a life with any meaning at all compared to my son? Right? Am I right? Come on, come here, kid. Come here. That's a boy. That's my JOI of a guy of a joy of a boy. That's my kid in his body. He never came once, Jim. Not once. To watch. Mother never missed a competitive match, of course. Mother came to so many it ceased to mean anything that she came. She became part of the environment. Mothers are like that, as I'm sure you're all too aware. You're aware all too well. Am I right? Right? Never came once, kiddo. Never lumbered all over, slumped and soft, and cast his big grotesque long, even at midday shadow at any court I performed on. Till one day he came, once. Suddenly, once, without precedent or warning, he came. I heard him coming long before he hove into view. He cast a long shadow, Jim. It was some minor local event. It was some early round local thing of very little consequence in the larger scheme. I was playing some local dandy, the kind with fine equipment and creased white clothing and country club lessons that still can't truly play, even, regardless of all that support. You'll find you often have to endure this type of opponent in the first couple rounds. This gleaming, hapless locks of a kid was some client of my father's son of one of his clients. So he came for the client, to put on some sham show of fatherly concern. He wore a coat and hat and coat and tie at 95 degrees plus. The client. Can't recall the name. There was something canine about his face, I remember, that his kid across the net had inherited. My father wasn't even sweating. I grew up with the man in this town and never once saw him sweat, Jim. I remember he wore a boater and the sort of gregariously plaid uniform professional men had to wear on the weekends then. They sat in the decisive shade of a scraggly palm, the sort of palm that's just crawling with black widows in the fronds, that come down without warning, that hide lying in wait in the heat of the midday. They sat on the blanket my mother always brought, my mother, who's dead, and the client. My father stood apart, sometimes in the waving shade, sometimes not, smoking a long filter. Long filters had come into fashion. He never sat on the ground. Not in the American Southwest he didn't. There was a man with a healthy respect for... Healthy respect for the format is what I have, because I'm stopping there. That was page 164. And I hope it was as aurally gratifying for you as it was for me. So, good to the night.